Hello, my name is Rafael Prieto Curiel. I am a mathematician from Mexico, and I'm working now in the Mathematical Institute of Oxford. I have been conducting research for social phenomena such as crime, migration, fear, perceptions, terrorism. As a mathematician, I think it is relevant to use maths tools such as equations or simulations or techniques to simulate social phenomena. So in order to obtain facts about, for instance, migration. So are we going to live in a really large city in the future? Is everybody going to be living in a large city? Or how large are cities going to be within the next 20 to 50 years is a relevant question which can be answered with mathematical tools. So it allows us to forecast, for instance, how large is Lagos going to be, or how many people is going to be living in Mexico City or in its surrounding areas. So I think mathematics and social sciences are combining into a new area, which in PIC is precisely the combination of two, qualitative and quantitative techniques. I imagine that with a mathematical model, I could be able to show you that everybody is going to live in equally large cities. So if that was true, then we would know that cities are going to be very large, and even those cities which currently have, I don't know, 50,000 people, we would know that in 100 years are going to be really large. However, that is most likely not the truth. Mathematics shows us that actually there's going to be large cities, medium-sized cities, and small cities. So that sort of pattern actually will repeat in time and is quite stable and consistent. And that is the relevant part, because then therefore we can say that in 100 years there's going to be a very large city, for instance Lagos in Nigeria or Dakar in Senegal. Those cities are going to prevail as really large cities, whereas we will have medium-sized cities and small cities. And why is it relevant? Because imagine a world with 11 billion people, as we will have in 100 years. From those, there is going to be large cities. Most of the people will live in a city. However, most of the people will live in a smaller or medium-sized city. People think that in the future everybody will be living in really large, gigantic cities, but that is actually not true. Today, most of the world lives in a city, true, but those cities tend to be small or medium-sized. So that is important for pollution, for sustainability, for water resources, transportation, migration, and etc. I think more and more we're seeing mathematics being used as a tool for urban planning, urban designing, or even policy making. For instance, in my experience, I used to work for the police in Mexico City, and working in the police was precisely using equations and mathematical models to see where is the next crime going to happen. And once you know where the next crime is going to happen, then where you put your police officers. Because if you're capable of forecasting crime, then you can put your resources there. And that idea of using maths to forecast the future is something that we need to use not only for crime, but for instance for migration, for the growth of cities, for urban planning, for transportation. How many people will we need to move from one district to the other? And that, I think, through the combination of mathematics and social science, we have evidence of both qualitative and quantitative evidence.